So I'm watching these shows for possible episodes. And no surprise, 70% of what I watch ain't worth nothing.
Yeah.
And I was watching one of those today, an episode that was nowhere near fun enough for us to talk about. However, it had two of the most hilarious names in it that I must share with the pod because you know how much we love names around here.
Oh, sure. Detective Cop?
Yes, absolutely. So it's two people. One, there's an informant in prison that was hired to do like a kill my spouse or whatever, right? This informant's name was Kermit Butts. Good, right?
Pretty good.
Okay. And spelled like it too. Kermit is like Kermit and Butts is like B-U-T-T-S, Butts.
Kermit Butts.
Kermit Butts.
Kermit Butts bunkmate. Kermit Butts. Kermit Butts statement.
Now, Kermit Butts was in cahoots with one Miranda Boob. Kate.
Boob and Butts.
Her last name is legitimately B-O-O-B, Boob.
Boob and Butts are on the case, man.
Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. And what's funny is, I'm going to put a little clip in here because they say it so much. And the whole time the episode's playing, I'm going, okay, I know I'm hearing boob. There's no way it's really boob.
Yeah, it's probably, Butts is probably B-U-T-Z.
Yeah.
Boob is probably like B-H-U-L-B.
No, this is spelled like the thing that they are.
Marinda Boob, 22-year-old Sam Boob, home of Marinda Boob.
Happen to see the Boob house?
At the Boob residence inside the Boob household, played in Sam Boob's murder. Murder of Sam Boob, visiting the Boob's home, Sam Boob's grieving family, Marinda Boob, murdered Sam Boob out to the Boob residence.
Or kill Sam Boob.
Before Sam Boob's murder.
By Marinda Boob.
Finds Marinda Boob guilty.
Marinda Boob.
I feel for the Boob family.
Kermit Butts and Miranda Boob, welcome to our name collection.
You know, my grandmother,
Uh-huh.
she grew up with a girl named Fanny Butts.
No.
Yeah.
Fanny Butts.
Yeah. Because Fanny, I don't think was slang for butt yet, maybe. So, I mean, because Fanny was like a name in the 20s.
But isn't Fanny what the Brits call the front area of a lady?
Yes. But when did that start?
I don't know. Good cue. So Fanny Butts, huh?
Fanny Butts.
How'd she spell Butts?
Like butts.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. Man, I wish your last name was Butts, not... Gotcha! Hit the theme! Attention shoppers. We've got to clean up on Aisle H.
What the other wolves think?
A true crime cleanup on Aisle H.
Diabolical.
Starting now.
No, he's telling you that she's bats.
Howdy, Holeheads. Kurt Money here, alongside my co-host,
Kateline.
and we are here to talk about the show Unusual Suspects. Dun dun. This is on the cock, but I think it's an oxygen joint that makes its way to the cock, I feel. I'm going to read you the description, and then I'm going to get your thoughts on this, Kate. This aired October 7th, 2012. In 1985, a young military wife and her 3 little girls are viciously murdered in their home. In a twisted case filled with unusual suspects, wink, wink,
Wink.
nothing is what it seems. Eh? Now, I cut out a line in between those things that was a spoiler for me, but it's a pretty good description, don't you think?
Pretty good.
Okay, tell me, Kate, what did you think of Unusual Suspects? Have you seen it? Did you dig it?
I have never heard of it, which
Really?
is surprising because it's so old.
Yeah, and it's literally in my... I assume your cock looks a lot like my cock. This sounds so funny for people who don't know what we're talking about.
Our cocks are very similar.
Yeah. Let's compare the two. But yeah, I feel like the recommended shows are the same for us.
They gotta be at this point.
I don't know how Usual Suspects hasn't made its way to your cock.
I have no idea, but it looks like it's even older than it is.
Oh, it sure does. I mean, that title sequence where it's like...
The title sequence,
Ugh.
I wanted to text you about it, but then I said, no, save it.
Save it.
Save
it.
That title sequence is so bad.
It's god-awful. Oh, it's like they plugged it into a sepia filter in Photoshop 4 or something. Mm-hmm. And now it's just been so sepia that it's gross looking.
But it's like, it's more pinkish than sepia now.
Okay. All right. That might just be the different number of rods in our eyeballs, Kate.
Oh, maybe.
I thought it was sepia to me, but if you say it's pink.
Yeah. Yeah, that PT Cruiser was blue.
No. So, I mean, be real with me, Kate. The show sucks, right?
This show sucks, but this case does not suck,
Certainly not.
which is, I'm assuming, why you picked it.
Yeah, and well, actually, I've got a multi-level B-roll you busted in here that infuriates me so. So I had to bring it to the table because there's some aspects of the show that I wanted to talk about, but mostly it was how much it sucks. When I was writing all these down, I was like, wow, I didn't realize this show's not good.
It's not good.
No.
And this case in particular, I was surprise. I was mad at the cops like the whole time, but I was also mad at them even when they turned out to be right, or like when I thought they were wrong, I was pissed, and then when they were actually right, I was still pissed. I was just pissed.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Okay.
Like arms crossed, like, oh, you think you're so smart.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
You know, the cops didn't bug me so much, but now I'm remembering what made me write this episode down for us right away was a connection to another case that I'm familiar with, that I've brought up on the show a ton, but we've never talked about it. But there's a suspect in here where I gasped and like yelled at the screen when I saw his face pop up. I was like, I cannot believe this dude is following me around. But we'll get to that. Our story begins May 8th, 1985 in Tina, Fayetteville, North Carolina. That's how I remember how to say it, Kate. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Tina, Fayetteville, North Carolina.
But
What? What's up, Kate?
But Kurt, you lived in North Carolina.
And there's the line that was burning the last time I couldn't say this word. So that's why I'm like, I got to know how to do it. And I feel like that's my way in.
Okay.
I said it right this time. Did I not?
You did.
Okay. Whew. Okay. This is a quintessential military town. So quintessential that it has 60,000 uniformed personnel bouncing around.
That's a
that
lot.
certainly is a military town.
It's a lot. And it's different.
That's a ton.
Different kinds of military, too. It's not like it's just one big base. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, because there was like an Air Force thing and then Fort Bragg and stuff. Mm-hmm. And like retirees, people who are in it, and super military. And this story is about Katie Eastburn is a mother of 3 little girls. Kara, who's 5, Erin, 3, and then a 20-month-old Jana. Now, when do we start seeing years? 2 years? Is 20-month weird or no? I mean, we are 2 babyless people. Doesn't 20 months seem weird or no?
It does. I think the whole months thing, that anything over a year is weird.
I would go to 18 months. That's what I decided.
But 20 is too far for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is Katie. She's at home with her 3 little girls. Her husband, Gary, is away at military training in Alabama. And it's the weekend. It's Mother's Day. Oh yeah, because the episode is called A Mother's Day Murder. It's Mother's Day, and usually the scene at the Eastburn house, the kids are outside playing. It's raucous, 3 little girls running around.
A lot of commotion.
But the neighbors are walking by on Sunday, and what's the vibe?
It is silent. They're not hearing the laughter. They're not hearing anything. No baby crying. Nothing.
Nothing. And then they notice there's like a couple newspapers. Mm-hmm. So now they're like, okay, what's going on here? So they call the cops, and they send a sheriff out to investigate. He knocks, rings the doorbell, no answer. But as he's walking away, he hears a faint baby cry.
Yeah.
Right? And this is when he realizes, there sounds like there's a 20-month-old in there. Right? Uh-huh. So so what does he do? He breaks in, right?
He breaks in through a window, and he finds the 20-month-old severely dehydrated.
Yeah.
Probably a full diaper, but otherwise unharmed, and hands her off to the neighbors while he goes and checks out the rest of the house.
Yeah, and the rest of the house is a bummer. They go over to the other side where the other rooms are. They find the mom, Katie, dead on the floor, clearly assaulted and like stabbed multiple times. They bust out the old, this was what we like to call an overkill. The thing that's self-explanatory with the word, but we like to say it in shows for some reason.
Explain it.
Yeah.
And let everybody know that we know what it means.
Yeah.
There's a term that is used called overkill. And that's whenever you see far more trauma to a victim than what is needed to actually kill the victim.
And then they go to the other kids' rooms, and they're also dead. Like, I'm like debating if I want to say specifically what happened to them and what their last minutes were like. I don't know if I should. What do you think?
Yeah, because the one is brutal.
Very. Yeah, so maybe we just say the 2 kids are dead? Or what do you think?
Yeah, we can just leave it at that. They were not sexually assaulted, though.
No, but they were murdered.
This was the worst scene that I'd ever come on. It just tears your heart out.
So we've got a triple homicide here. So naturally, oh wait, when they said overkill, he also said unhinged bloodlust. And I want to be like, dude, call it that instead.
Yeah, we don't hear that very often.
Unhinged bloodlust? So that's our new overkill.
This wasn't just a killing. This was unhinged bloodlust.
So they say, oh, killer knew the victim. Another thing that we're not really sold on, but...
No, we're not. But they say that because there were no signs of a forced entry, so it looked like Katie had let the person in. Everything was normal looking. Also, I guess because the manner that they were killed, that it was personal.
Naturally, they want to talk to the husband, Gary, right? Because that's their first suspect right there. Now, he is out of town for training in Alabama, I believe. So you think he's in the clear, but then the cops kind of give us the potential timeline, right? And what do they see could happen?
I would have tried to follow this through as well. They do the math and see if it's possible for him to drive all the way back to Fayetteville, commit this murder, and then drive all the way back to Alabama again and report for duty in the morning.
Yeah. And because they figure with like the state of the body and whatnot that she was most likely killed Thursday night, right? Like, because the last time she was seen was Thursday evening. They find the body on Sunday. So they're like, that's 72 hours for Gary to figure out how to squeeze in a 20-hour job.
With her husband conveniently out of town, he becomes a person of extreme interest.
Okay, so they want to talk to him. They, of course, what would his motive be? They appear to have the perfect marriage. Usually that's a red flag for K-Mun when they throw that word around, right?
Because no marriages are perfect.
That's right. But they find nothing on him. And then they end up ruling out the husband because so many of his coworkers or fellow military peeps vouched for him and said he was there.
I'm sure he was at the bar with them really late, and they saw him the next morning, every morning. So, yeah, I buy it.
I did not buy it at the time upon first watch. Okay, my arms are crossed and I'm going, they could have been in on it. You don't know. You don't friggin' know. And then cuts to the next scene. We're talking to the man himself.
There he is.
Katie Eastburn's on this show in a tie and stuff. So not in prison.
Not in prison. Seems like a really nice guy.
Seems like a genuinely nice dude. Absolutely. Did you see that coming? Was that kind of a shock to you or no?
I didn't see it coming. I either assumed because this is, 1985, that this guy would have been dead already just from natural causes. Or...
Yeah, or out of prison.
He had moved on with his life and didn't want to have anything to do with it. But
yeah.
But no, he's locked in.
He's here, and it's so sad. We talked to him about they've been married for 10 years, and he describes meeting her at a softball game, and it was so adorable, right?
Oh yeah.
She's in these cutoff shorts, t-shirt, and like side ponies, right? Mm-hmm. Which is, I call that the PJ Souls. She was in Halloween and Carrie, but that's a very PJ Souls look. But do you approve of the side ponies, Kate? You don't strike me as a person to rock a side pony.
Well,
or two side ponies.
Two side ponies like pigtails.
Pigtails! That's the word I was looking for. Friggin' pigtails.
I don't love when men love it. Because it's childish and
weird.
It's a little pedo.
Weird. But specifically in this case, him saying that, I'm not coming after Gary for saying that she was cute and stuff. Because I feel like that was a look then.
No, and it was love at first sight for him.
Yep. They go talk and they hit it off.
2 long ponytails on each side, one on each side of her head. And I was kind of like just dumbstruck. I'm like, this is like, wow.
So back at the crime scene, the cops go through. There's something that happens here, but I don't want to talk about it right now, okay? They took a lot of stuff to test, like hairs, and they tried to find fingerprints and all this stuff. But remember, it's 1985. It's 1985.
They did use luminol, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they did. They sprayed that all over.
Oh, that pesky luminol.
Okay. They say in this moment that they took his DNA. Now, we're going to talk about this later and stuff, so I don't know if we kick this down. But they didn't say a forward-thinking officer took something that could potentially be used in the future or anything. Don't you think it was weird that they just said they took his DNA? Because
DNA didn't exist.
Well, it existed, but it was in the very... Hey, actually, I'm going to say the word that they say during my list, but it's a word they use all the time for this kind of thing. But
infancy.
I don't... That's it. Well, you just spoiled part of my list. But I'm pumped that you remembered, Kate. I'm pumped that you remembered. But yeah, don't you think it was weird? Or are they just saving time?
I didn't catch that, but that is weird. That's got to be just laziness on the show's part, because they wouldn't have known to do that. We've seen so many murders, even in the 90s, where it's like blood sampling was taken, but nothing beyond that, and that was just to find out what blood type, let alone DNA. That just seems very strange. Like, let's swab everybody's cheeks, and maybe in 20 years, this will be a thing people do.
Good cue.
But there is evidence the killer couldn't erase. His own DNA, taken from Katie's body.
So I call it that. That's my part one of B-roll you busted. It's a very minor one, but they showed them taking DNA, and it's 1985.
Yeah.
That's right under the wire. Okay. So now with the husband off as a possibility, they talk to the babysitter, and here things get interesting.
At no point when they're talking about this babysitter did I know what was about to come.
It's definitely shock.
Insane. Like, even if nothing else happened in this episode, I feel like this would have been enough. So this babysitter, she's really sweet. She's been working for them for a while. She gets along great with the family. They don't really suspect her of anything. They don't think that she may have done it, but they do start looking into what kind of people she hangs out with.
So the first thing they learn when they look into this babysitter, she seems cool and the family loved her, the kids loved her. But one of the detectives said, and this is a quote, she had gotten in trouble at school and was sent to like a special school.
We found out that she'd had some problems and that she had been sent to a special school.
And I'm like, boy, I can't wait to hear them describe what a special school is. And it turns out, because they found drugs in her frigging purse. So like, they made it sound like she's a... Because then they go, well, if she had drugs in her person, she could be a drug dealer. Maybe this was a drug deal gone bad that this happened.
Was this a drug-related killing to steal from the family for more drugs?
And I just I had to take a minute and just feel bad for everyone in the 80s who smoked a joint and it was treated as if you were like the scum of the earth.
Totally.
And should be in prison for the rest of your life.
You have to go to an alternative school.
Because she had weed in her purse? That seems insane.
One of my ex-boyfriends... he went to prison for possession of marijuana.
Whoa. What age?
I want to say like 21, 22 maybe.
Wow. So how long?
I'm not sure.
Was he dealing it and stuff? Or I could cut this out. I'm just curious. Was it a joint?
No, you can leave it in. I don't know the details, but I mean, weed's legal. It's so lame to look back at all of those drug arrests that are just like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Are those guys out now? If you were in prison...
They better be.
They freaking better be. So, in this moment, I'm going, cops, you suck. Do not put that on her like she's some evil drug dealer. But
then,
what happens?
I can't remember actually how they find this out.
I think they talked to her friends or something. No, but they say it was a huge secret. So how do they find out? I don't know.
They do some digging and they discover that this girl has a pen pal.
Yeah, a secret pen pal.
It is a man in prison for murdering his family.
Yeah.
The exact same way as the Eastburns. This is nuts.
This is absolutely crazy. And it's not just any prisoner. It's Jeffrey McDonald. And this is the case I was teased in the beginning, where I've seen multiple docs, fictional movies based on books. I've read multiple books. Like, this is one of my cases that I know everything about. And a lot of people do think he's innocent, because that's what she was saying, right? She called him like a martyred hero, this guy, and how he's really innocent.
Janelle calls McDonald a martyred hero. She's convinced he's innocent.
Now, I can confidently say he's not innocent, and he's where he should be. But it was so insane to hear that she was a pen pal with a killer, that it was friggin' Jeffrey McDonald from Fatal Vision, and the fact that she's like, oh my God, it is so, because he did do this same thing. He stabbed his wife and 2 kids, like stabbed him to death, and that's exactly what this is.
And then you think he talked her into this, or he convinced her and someone else to do this.
Yeah.
Or she thought that if she did this, that's the avenue that the cops go down, where they're like, well, what if she does this so it looks like whoever killed McDonald's family is still out there murdering?
Yeah.
Because didn't those murders happen just a couple blocks from the Eastburns?
It wasn't blocks. It was 6 miles away, but it was in Fayetteville.
Okay.
So because they're both in the military and stuff. Now, this was 15 years after he was in prison, so he was a known case and stuff, but it's still 15 years after the fact. But I remember when he first got into prison, I'm pretty sure he did stuff where he asked an inmate to write a letter or something. Like he tried to do a thing where it's like, hey, I'm locked up and it happened again or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like he tried to pull a trick like that, but that's what they're thinking this could be. And I'm going, I guess,
Yeah.
right? I mean, if it hadn't been 15 years, I might dig into it more, but they look into it. It's unrelated entirely. This babysitter just so happens to be pen pals with a guy who did this same murder.
Now, it is insane. The odds of that are crazy, except when you remember that it is the same town. So maybe because he's like a legend in that town, and she
A legend.
grew up with it and maybe has a crush and thought she could connect with him in some way. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought about that too. Look, like we said, there's 60,000 military people there, and it's Fort Bragg. Like it's a known base and stuff. But I feel like even if she knew about this guy forever and grew up knowing about this dude, she still had nothing to do with the murder of the family that she babysat for. So it's still bat crazy, bonkers, insane.
Yes.
That they were murdered in the exact same way that Jeffrey McDonald's family was. Like, it's just like...
It's a crazy coincidence.
Yes. It would be hard to accept that.
It turns out it is just that coincidence.
You're right. And cops don't believe in them. But this is 100% a coincidence.
In the end, it was a young girl corresponding with somebody in prison, and there was no truth that the murders in this instance were related to the McDonald murders in any way.
They briefly go into the murder, but that they showed the drawing of the lady in the floppy hat. That's the real sketch and stuff. And his whole thing was he said hippies did it. He said hippies did it because there was an article in a magazine that was in his living room about Charles Manson, the Manson family. And he also wrote piggies and shit in blood in his apartment. Okay.
Did he?
He sure did. One of many reasons why I'm going guilty.
What a loser.
What a loser. Absolutely. Okay. Oh. So not connected. The cops are still digging. They find out that a few days before the murder, a stranger had adopted their dog Dixie. Now, Gary had been assigned to England, I believe. They were going to have to move to England. Mm-hmm. And this was another flooring bit of information for me, Kate. Why were they getting rid of their old dog?
Because when, at the time, moving to England, there was a automatic quarantine that would happen on all pets, and it was like for 6 months.
Why do you say? They didn't say at the time, though. As far as I know, I feel like this is still the thing.
It's not 6 months.
How do you know? Have you done it?
No, but
what?
I can tell you that. Well, I can't say it on the pod, but...
Well, let me go off to the Goog then. Because I got a billion follow-ups of whether or not there would be something I'd do.
To the Goog.
Interesting. There's a certain criteria that you have to meet to avoid quarantine. And if your dog fails that and they have to go into quarantine, it could be for up to 4 months. So it's been reduced, or maybe you got to be like a super negligent dog parent.
Yeah, they have to have their shots. They have to have their, there's paperwork.
Vaccinations, microchip, health certificate, all that kind of stuff. But I would not be...
Quarantine was going to be 6 months. Their dog was old.
Yeah.
They didn't want to do that to the dog.
Because they were worried that it would die before they got her back.
Mm-hmm.
But I am floored by this information that at one point you had to wait 6 months.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had gotten a job back then and I was with the missus, I would have had to have been able to stay in quarantine with her, or at least visit every day. There's 2 reasons why I would not go 6 months without seeing my lady. 1, I just love her to death. Okay, I don't want to.
Yeah, sure.
Number 2, I don't want her to forget about me, okay? 6 months is a risky amount of time. I'd be terrified I'd show up and she'd be like, Kurt Money who? I don't know you.
It is. 6 months is a long time in a dog's life.
Yeah.
Don't they say that like a year is like a decade?
Year's 7 years. So it's like 3.5 years is 6 months. I mean, that's a long ass time.
It's a long time. And I agree. I don't know that I could do it. But this is also back in the day when people didn't really care that much about their dogs.
You're right. They were like, yeah, okay. I'll come pick it up in 6 months. That's crazy.
So they were looking to rehome her.
Yeah, and this guy came over.
He came over like the day before the murder.
Yeah, he had said, I'll take the dog on like a 2-day test run.
But do you remember how they found out about this? The police purposely put a whole thing on the news that we're looking for anyone who has any information about the adoption of their dog. We want to talk to whoever adopted the dog, and we don't know who it was. Please come forward if you know who it is.
That same day, a young Army wife sees the news report and mentions it to her husband, Army Sergeant Timothy Hennis.
And this woman sees it, and she's like, yeah, that's Dixie. My husband adopted it. And so she's like, dude, you got to go down to the police. They want to ask you questions because that family you adopted the dog from has all been murdered.
Yeah. And this is Timothy Hennis, and he agrees. I will absolutely talk to those cops. He goes down there, talks to them. B-roll, you busted. Part 2. Many points deducted for how low res they made it to look like that was real security footage when it was clearly the dumb actors that they used in every other scene. Okay.
Yeah. And they did this every time.
They did it a lot.
My wife saw an ad on television.
Okay, so now we're getting into the real BYBs. That's the first big one. Okay, because that one makes me... Because it looked so terrible. I don't know. I wish it had been black and white with a record REC written in the corner or something. Because I feel like they wanted us to buy it with that, the way that it was in here. And
They did.
And I'm like, Okay, so busted. He tells the cops that he got a call from Katie on Thursday night just asking if Dixie was okay. But the last time he saw her was 2 days prior. Mm-hmm. And his alibi is weak.
Yeah, he and his wife are having some marital trouble.
Yep.
And she decides that she's going to go spend some time at her parents' place. So his alibi is that he drove her and the kids to his in-laws and dropped her off there. And then he went home, watched some TV, and that was it.
Yeah, he says, as soon as I got home, that's when Katie called. Watched a little TV, and then I went to bed. That was it.
There were no witnesses. He just says he was at home.
Yeah, which is tough. And we've talked about it before, people who live alone and stuff. That would be my alibi for stuff, and it would be difficult to prove. So I could feel him there. However, cops find out from an ex-girlfriend of Tim Hennis that on the night of the murder, on Thursday, he came over to her house and was like in the mood for hanky-panky. Mm-hmm. He was like, come on, let's go party. What was her response?
Well, she reminded him that he was married and it was not happening.
She literally said, and what about that ring on your finger?
Mm-hmm.
With his wife out of town, the married man had an itch he was eager to scratch.
Now the cops know that he's lying. What else was he lying about?
Yeah.
Now, they didn't pull the phone records, did they, to show whether or not she actually called?
No. Or if they did, they didn't tell us.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder if they did or not, because that could have proven it as well, perhaps. Yeah. So Hennis denies it all. Records show that Katie's ATM card was used the day after the murder to take out $300. So, like, they stole her ATM card and PIN number. What does that mean? They found the piece of paper it was written on?
This is a great question. I didn't know what this meant either. How do you steal the PIN number? Now, we didn't have ATM cards in 1985, Kurt. You and I were too young.
Yes. Yep.
I don't think that my parents had them yet either. In 85, that's early.
Okay.
So maybe the whole PIN number thing was like a whole ordeal. Maybe you like kept the number in your wallet with the card. So when they steal your card, the PIN number is a separate card with it or something.
Or what if it's written on the back of the card? I mean, could be that too.
But then you don't need to steal the PIN number because it's already on the card.
Yeah, but I'm saying that they're dumb in how they said it.
They could just be dumb because the show's bad.
Yeah.
About 1 minute or 2 minutes after that card was used, this person told us that she saw a tall, white male, blonde hair, wearing fatigues.
They talk to a woman who used the ATM 1 or 2 minutes after it was used. Katie's card was used. And this was interesting to me. I like that they went in and were like, all right, what time? And then they had to backtrack and figure out who that person was. And they make a point of, hey, no cams, right? So this is all based on looks and whatnot.
Yeah, no cameras.
So they talked to this lady and she says, yeah, I saw somebody. It was a tall white male, blonde hair, fatigues.
Which does not narrow it down.
I know. I was waiting for the show to say that. They didn't. This was another misstep on their part because they could have gone, well, in that quintessential military town, that doesn't really help us. But they said,
no,
that sounds a lot like Timothy Hennis. Dummies.
I know.
Dummies.
I know.
It's a description that could easily fit Timothy Hennis.
They look into Hennis's background. He's got money problems. He's gotten arrested or convicted 3 times for writing bad checks. And also his wife is out of town to get away from him. Love that.
His own wife had called their marriage dull and boring.
And he had just post-dated a check for his rent, which was late. It's May 8th, right? So his rent was late. He had post-dated a check for $300.
$300?
Where did we hear that number?
That's the exact
$300?
amount of money taken from the ATM.
Boom. Now, if I was Hennessy, or if I was Tim Hennis's defense attorney, I'd go, well, that was the daily limit. That's what I would say, but still, it doesn't look good.
No.
It does not look good. And also, a witness also saw Hennis burning stuff in his backyard. I mean,
classic.
He's looking real good for it.
Classic.
So then they talked to a witness named Peter Campton. He says he saw a white guy leaving that house of the Eastburns with like a black trash bag over his shoulder, and he walked by him. It's 3 a.m. This is 3 in the morning. This guy's out walking.
No one else on the street.
Yeah. And he walks by this guy, and do you remember, what did this mystery white guy say to him?
He says, just getting an early start.
At 3 a.m.? So the guy, he is thinking in his head, he's worried that a place might have just got robbed. I'm not mad at him for not investigating, but that'd make me more suspicious than if he didn't even look at me and walked by. Don't you think? If some random person at 3 a.m., I don't know, like that would weird the hell out of me. I'd be like...
I honestly feel like that's something I would say. Not if
Really?
I had just done a crime. I just mean if I see a woman, only a woman, I would not be talking to a man at 3 a.m. on a dark street. But if I'm out at 3 a.m. and I walk very closely by with another woman, I'd be like, just getting after it. Early bird gets the worm. I'd say something so corny just to know that, like, everything's cool.
That's funny. I don't know. I don't think I'd like to think I wouldn't, but who knows? Who knows? But would you, if someone said that to you, would you be suspicious?
No, I think I'd go, I respect the hustle, man.
Yeah, because that's the funny thing is because the cops are like, okay, we want to believe this. We really do. Here's the thing, Pete. You are a high school dropout and you're a janitor. They say this in the show as if it's like, untrustworthy or whatever, right?
So like you're an idiot?
Yeah, so that's what they're saying about Pete.
He agrees to give investigators blood, hair, and fingerprint samples.
And then they also say when criminals will try and pin their crime on someone else, they'll over-describe details because they know them because they were there.
Well, that
which I think is
true.
That is very true. Very true. And so they're worried about with him because he could so describe mustache, blonde, da-da-da. And so they put him through the ringer.
He even describes the car.
Yeah, sure does. Wait a minute. Beep, beep.
Beep, beep.
She coming in?
Car Kate.
What is it?
He says that this mystery man gets into a white Chevy Chevette.
Yeah. I've heard of those. What do you think? Those are kind of like... Trashy. Yeah, okay. Oh, and also, like, why are you out so late, dude? But then he gives his reasons, and I freaking believe it. Mm-hmm. Like, his girlfriend lives in the same neighborhood, and he's over at her house till 1, 2, 3 in the morning, and then he walks home. Boom. Right? I mean, don't you... I buy that for sure.
Yeah, he didn't have a car.
Yeah. And so once... Oh, he also passed a friggin' polygraph test, and you could better believe I was waiting for it.
I was waiting too, but they didn't say it.
They didn't, and what threw me off is the word that he said after he passed the polygraph started with a W. So I was like, he's going to say with flying colors right now. I know, he's going to say with flying colors, and he does not. He's only without any trouble or anything. So I'm like, well played, dude. Well played.
We polygraphed him, and he passed the polygraph without any hesitation, without any problems.
The detective's name is like Bobby Bickett or something, isn't it? Biddles? It's like Bobby Biddles or something.
I don't know.
Yeah?
I don't read the names like you do.
You don't. It said Robert Biddles, but I'm sure his boys call him Bobby.
Oh, yeah. Bobby B.
Bobby B. Okay, now comes the ultimate BYB B-roll you busted. So they're like, okay, this guy's legit. Let's get him with the sketch artist. So he describes, and we see the drawing, and every person on this show gets their own talking head to describe how shocked they were. What was the shock?
That it looked exactly like Hennis.
They go on and on about how it is a dead ringer for Timothy Hennis.
I stopped dead in my tracks.
The likeness was so real that it almost, it was just unbelievable.
They do a side-by-side of the sketch on the left side and then Timothy Hennis on the right. But now is when I pop in and say, busted in a big way because this show, they did a side-by-side talking about how similar these things were. They even did a fade over a face and stuff, and it was the actor that was portraying Timothy Hennis, Kate.
Oh, no.
What the hell? What the hell? I have no idea why they did this. It's the same, and it is funny because it does kind of look like the sketch a little, but it's just, it like is more like a high five to their casting, but I could not believe that they did all that side-by-side stuff with the friggin' actor.
Dumb.
Oh, so dumb. I was worried you were going to say no or something. I got stills in case.
No, I believe you. I believe
Okay.
you.
It was this kind of stuff where I was getting real mad at the show. And also, like, they have real footage, so it's not like the show's dead to me. But they did a lot of reenactment stuff when I was like, it feels like you guys got the pics. I'd just rather see the pics or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then they have the actor portraying Peter Campton pick Tim Hennis out of a lineup. And that's the actor, Tim Hennis, in the lineup that we're looking at.
Sure.
Got him again. So boom. They're like, this is Hennis. They arrest him for triple homicide. This is now less than a week from the murder, right? So the turnaround on this is pretty crazy.
It's pretty crazy.
So Hennis says he's innocent, and he says he's so innocent, he turns down a plea deal for lesser time. He's like, no, I'm not going to.
He wants
I'm
a
not
trial.
lying.
He's going to fight it.
Yeah.
Hennis maintains his innocence and even refuses a plea bargain agreement for a reduced sentence.
And when somebody does that, when they say, I don't want the plea, I'd rather go to prison, my first instinct is to go, it sounds like he didn't do it. What do you think? Do you believe it every time, or are you still arms crossed? What do you think?
I feel like I'm more likely to believe it because that's what I would do.
Yeah, true. But the cops aren't buying it. They friggin' take him to trial 1 month later. July 8th is when he's sentenced. That means the trial was over a month later. It's crazy.
And the murder happened Mother's Day.
Yes. Yeah. It is wild.
Has anything ever happened this quickly in the justice system?
No, except for that one Dateline we watched. Remember where the people, they had him in court the Monday or Tuesday after, and it ended up not being him or something. Do you remember that Dateline? It was an insane turnaround just like this.
No.
Maybe that's, yeah. So they go, he says he's innocent, turns down the plea, but he's found guilty of triple murder and rape, and he's put on friggin' death row.
Mm-hmm.
And so now he's in prison, and in North Carolina, every death penalty case gets appealed, no matter what, automatically. So that's happening right now. And in this same moment, Hennis is telling people, hey, also, I got this letter from somebody, and it was dated the day of my sentencing, July 8th, 85. I got a letter that says,
Ha ha ha. It's so funny that you're doing the time when I did the crime.
Yeah. And he sends it to him, and then he sends something similar to the detectives. And of course, there's no fingerprints or anything.
And it said, it's a shame that you're doing the time after I did the crime. Ha ha. Signed, Mr. X.
He could mail himself a letter on the day he's sentenced. Could he not? Or no?
He absolutely could. He could have sent it to himself the morning, like had someone, his lawyer, put it in a mailbox. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, his death penalty gets appealed, and they're like, it gets to like the North Carolina Supreme Court or whatever. They're like, yeah, you gotta do this one over, right? Like they friggin' overturn it.
They say it's like insufficient evidence or something.
The wording on it was the prosecution's case rested on showing inflammatory photos of the crime scene. To which I say, well, that's what you do at a trial, Judge, right? Like
you show them the murder.
Their reasoning was it would make people want to get revenge on someone, and it's not facts and stuff. So that's why he got a brand new trial, because they were like, there's no facts in here. They're like, he was convicted because they just wanted revenge on someone for the awful photos.
They just used emotion to get the verdict that they wanted, which
Yeah.
is a legal tactic, and you can do that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But also, that's insane to go from death row to getting a new trial.
So that already is insane. How's this new trial go?
Well, his lawyers the second time around, I think they did have some tricks up their sleeve to cast some doubt.
Yeah, and it's also, this new trial's in Wilmington, so it's not in Fayetteville.
They didn't want anybody in Fayetteville to be on that jury. They thought the case was too big. They weren't going to get a fair shot.
Yeah, so defense does have a few tricks. And what are they? A few of them are kind of convincing.
Guy in the neighborhood looks exactly like Timothy Ennis.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they bring him in and talk to him. And not only does he look like Timothy Ennis, he also suffers from insomnia and says he goes on long walks at night.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is...
So was that the guy that the eyewitness saw?
Yeah. Is that who Peter Campton saw and not the guilty guy? Now, again, I've got to say the final part 4 of my B-roll you busted, BYB. Yet again, they do a side-by-side
with the two actors
of the sketch of the dude and of an actor playing this new random guy from the neighborhood. That's also an actor.
Yeah.
Okay. Busted. So they do other stuff, but that's a big one because they talk about the reaction in court, right? Like it kind of like got silent or something. Like it was just everybody was shocked.
When they brought that man into the courtroom, I mean, everything just stopped. People were just amazed.
So what is the verdict of this new trial?
He's not guilty. He gets off.
And so they're like, this has got to be. They don't prove it, but they say this is the first time someone on death row,
a death row inmate,
was retried
and gets to walk free.
Innocent.
It's crazy.
That's real crazy. So now it's 4 years after the murder. They're no closer to finding the killer than they were on day 2 or whatever.
This case is cold.
This case goes cold for 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
17 years it goes cold. In 2005, a guy in a cold case department takes the case on. And again, I got to say, what a time to be in the cold case department, because I feel like you're gonna have more wins than losses in the early 2000s.
Slam dunks every week.
Yeah.
You get these cases, there's an envelope with some untested something or other. You send it to the lab, and you come back, and you're the hero that solved it.
That's what he does. This guy grabs the box, and, oh, look, there's semen. Let's send the semen in for DNA. We couldn't do that in 85.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So they send the semen in. It comes back. What are the results?
It's Timothy Ennis.
Oh my God, it was the guy. It was the guy that was already in there.
It was the guy. They had him the whole time. What the I did not see that coming.
No, me neither. That blew my mind. And instantly, and they start talking about it, but I'm going, oh, no. Double jeopardy. Double jeopardy is a thing.
Can't try him again.
And then.
So we find out what he's been doing.
Oh, yeah.
All these years. This fat piece of has just risen through the ranks of the military. He's a stand-up guy. He's,
he did 2 tours.
Never had any run-ins with anything. Did 2 tours. Just an all-around great dude.
Yeah, and has a family. He lives in the Pacific Northwest.
Has a new family.
Spotless record, other than those 2 years he spent wrongfully imprisoned. Yeah. But now they're going, well, what are we going to do? It's friggin' double jeopardy. We can't try him twice for the same crime. And then they figure out a loophole.
Oh, wait.
And what was that loophole?
He's in the military. We can get a military tribunal to try him.
That's right. Because the military, and we've come across this, because military police and court system is separate from the ones that we see. So they're like, all we got to do is ask the military to try him for this murder. And they talk to him and they go, okay, he's re-enlisted. Let's get him in here. And so now he's got to go back for a 3rd trial, this time in the military court. What a
I know.
Loophole.
Because the military courts are brutal. You do
they
not
are.
get any kind of help. It's like you're in front of the firing squad, and they're closed, right? Like no one knows what's going on in them.
Right. Now I feel like they are harsh when it gets to them, but I feel like I've seen a ton of movies or like read a Jack Reacher book where they'll do what they can to keep it out of the court. Like they'll have the good old boy system or something where they want to push it under the rug.
Sure, but not in this case.
But I do agree when it gets to the courts in the military, they're hard asses about it.
Uh-huh.
And what do they find out? This is now 17 years later, so this is 2000 something. What's the verdict?
Guilty, bitch. You're back on death row.
Back on death row. Wow.
Once again, he is sentenced to death.
Wow. I could not believe they put him on death row. I thought for sure it was going to be bullshit, like 20 years or time served or something. And they're like, no, we want you in the chair.
I bet the military does, because they had him, he was lying to them for all those years and serving them while also having done this horrific crime. It's like a betrayal. They want him gone.
Yeah. And it is such a horrific crime. Again, like we skipped over the deets, but It's truly terrible. And like the 20-month-old wasn't touched, and the cops think it was because he had gotten all of his rage out by then. And he was like, and a baby can't tell on me, right?
Right.
He's like, they can't
be a witness.
Yeah, can't be a witness.
I don't know that I think it's that. I think he just didn't know the baby was there.
That could be. My first call was he did not do it because he didn't want to kill a baby, because he killed a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. I don't think he gives a shit.
Yeah, what difference does it make?
Yeah, he doesn't care.
I think because the baby's room was at a different part of the house.
You're right.
He just didn't know that there was another bedroom down there.
I would put money on it that's what it is, because they do set it up where all the other rooms are in another wing of the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll bet that's exactly what it is. Thank God the baby wasn't crying or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we see that baby. She's with her dad.
We see a picture of Gary with that baby grown up in her 20s or something, right? Here's a question, though. If you get the death penalty in a military court, does that automatically get appealed? You're sure?
No.
Because in the state of North Carolina, for regular courts, it does.
I feel like in this case, they would just say no, because he already had his appeal, and they know he did it.
And that's a case where the military could say no appeal, right?
Because they have their own protocol.
Yeah, you're probably right. I was just wondering if it got appealed again, and they can go, it's double jeopardy. Like they just lucked out that he's in the military. Like I feel like he can get some shisty lawyer that we've seen on Dateline or something, try and spin a web.
Your boy.
Which boy?
Who's that guy you hate? That L.A. attorney.
No, I don't. No, it's Richard. It's like Richard Jackson or Andrew Jackson. It's something. It's a name of another person, but he was at the Phil Spector thing, and he was a hero as a prosecutor, and then he defended Karen Reed, and I hate him. And they auctioned off dinner with him.
Ew.
That he'd make him dinner and stuff. Remember all that crap?
What a prize.
Oh. And on that note, wait, no.
We've got to do our list.
Kate, you're gonna scoop me again, because you're gonna remember what I say before me. Kate, what do you got?
Wait, you have to say, I think it's about time for those lists.
Damn it! What is wrong with me?
I don't know.
I think it's about time for those lists. What do you got?
Kate's unnamed list.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt, we got all sorts of military up in this bee.
I mean, this might be the most military because of how many different aspects of the military affected it. This is your list, military, 1,000%.
Yep. We also got...
Wait, I get a question about the military. Do you think that Gary and the 20-month-old went to England?
That's a good question.
And if they didn't, would they want Dixie back or no? I mean, Dixie lived the rest of her days with that guy's wife, I assume. The killer's wife.
Yeah.
Okay, what else you got?
Car Kate. We got that
beep, beep.
White Chevy Chevette. Trashy.
Chevette, yep.
Which, I don't know if we said, that was the car that Tim drove.
Yeah, the description was of like a white car, and he did indeed drive a white car. He didn't know it was a Chevette, or did he say it was a Chevette?
I feel like they knew. I feel like the eyewitness knew it was a Chevy.
You know what? That would go along with them being worried he knows too many details.
Yes.
When they were suspicious. So I bet you're right.
Had it been me, I would have known all of those things. I can tell what kind of car it is, even if it's like pitch black out.
Good, honey.
Now, how much was the car they used in the B-roll recreations? How much was it not a 1980s Chevette?
It was not.
It was like it was white.
It was white.
So let's give him props.
I don't think it was a Chevy. I think it was whatever the PA drove.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so is that it?
I think that's it.
Boom. I can't. That is all the militariness would be a flag to me. Going, okay, good one for lists. I was shook at how much this was a military episode, because that's why we were able to try him again. It all comes around. Oh, okay. Wait, you know what? I am thinking, in the case of Jeffrey McDonald, the military police were weird about it at first. There was some drama. That might be what I'm referring to when I'm thinking of this. Or again, it could be a Jack Reacher book I read. It's one of the two.
Or
one of the two.
An old NCIS episode.
Yep. Now it's time for Kurt's Kick-Ass List.
Kick-Ass List.
Signs of struggle. They said it.
There's signs of struggle in the den area.
They didn't say signs of a struggle, but they did say signs of struggle. Count it. the B-roll you busted. Dope. He says, of fatal vision fame.
Jeffrey McDonald is the man convicted of killing his wife and children in Fayetteville's infamous fatal vision case.
Now, that was the name of the book that Joe Guinness wrote about Jeffrey McDonald, but it's also the name of the TV movie starring Gary Cole as Jeffrey McDonald. That's the name of the TV movie about that case.
The current star of NCIS.
Really? Mm-hmm. Boom. Look at it. It all comes together.
What you're telling me is that you're sitting there telling me that I killed my wife and kids. It's unbelievable.
When they're talking about the ATM, he's like, you know, when we didn't have cameras, we didn't have a picture back then because of those old-timey and whatnot. And you're thinking, okay, that's iffy, Kurt. But later, the DNA thing happens, and that's when they say DNA was in its infancy back then. I mean, that is a textbook what my list item is about this, right? Isn't that like so it? When they said infancy, I was like, oh yeah, this is for sure. This is for sure.
I also knew at the time when this murder happened that DNA was in its infancy. There was no such thing as what we know as DNA now.
All right, I believe that's all I got. I think a packed day for the list for such a dud of a show, but a great, very interesting case.
Yes. Heartbreaking.
Yes, very heartbreaking. You got anything else to add, Kateline? Do you want to give a hint? Or do you even want to mention that you're traveling? Or no? Should we not even give that to him?
Don't even give it to him.
Okay. All right. And on that note, I'm Kurt Money.
I'm Kateline.
I feel for the boob.